Hello everyone, this is Orlando from A Collector's Dream, and hopefully everybody had a happy 4th of July and just enjoying the freedoms of this country, the best country in the world. And what I want to do today is I was going through my cards and I'm going to take to the National, and in about a week or so about a week before the National, I'll do a video showing everything. But I am going to take some of my Goodwin Champion cards because I have some duplicates, a lot of duplicates still, and I just wanted to show some of the cards that I am going to take over there for as far as the Goodwin Champions for now. I may have a few more, but this is my favorite set ever. I actually had built two complete sets as I was upgrading. When I started this set, it was over 20 years ago, and a lot of these are going to be old slabs that I graded myself, so they don't even have the lighthouse on them, some of them. But anyway, these I do have the #1 set, and these are from the #1 set on the PSA registry. But my issue is that as I upgraded, these cards are kind of rare. So in order to upgrade, I got some SGC, and actually even graded some raw cards with SGC. So I'm keeping the best ones. It's gonna fall off the PSA registry, but it's gonna be a lot higher grade than the PSA registry that I have right now, as a universal registry, in my opinion. That's the way I'm going to do it. I'm going to do a mixed bag, a combination of PSA, SGC, just the highest graded card of each one. I don't care what, the best looking card of each. I don't care if it's that, or it's that, or it's this. I'm picking out the best one that I have, and that's the one I'm keeping. So all the duplicates are going to be sold or traded, or like I did the last time. I actually left some for the Love of the Game auction, the ones that I could not trade at the last National. So anyway, here's the first one I want you guys to look at. This is one of the toughest cards to find, one of the rarest cards to find. I do have one in an SGC4, but this is the one in a 2, which again is extremely difficult. This guy, Duncan Ross, I'm not going to go in depth into every one of these guys, but he was one of the top wrestlers and strongman in that era. And here he's called a broadswordsman, but he was really a wrestler and really a strong man. I've talked about him before, but look at these cards. That's the beauty. That's what I want to share some of these cards, and how beautiful these cards really are when you really take a good look at them. And you can't tell. I mean, you can tell, but in person, they look much, much, much better. Remember, these are cards from the 1800s, 1888, 19th century cards. That's why they're N162. And the back, of course, has checklists. So why is it a 2? I don't know. Just the back, maybe a little dirty, a little bit of tiny paper loss, but it's basically a beautiful card. You're not going to find this card beautifully centered like this. You're just not going to find them. I think the pop on this card total is, I don't know, somewhere around maybe 15. So that's the Duncan Ross. Another one of the cards here is the Taylor. And Taylor's one of the tennis players. And this one, I do have another 6 SGC. So either this one or the other one I'm gonna sell. So I'm gonna take a look at it and see which is the best one. But either way, I have one of these that I'm going to be able to move. And in the videos, when I do my video, I just want to show the cards and just show the artwork on these. when I do the video on what exactly I'm taking to the National, I'll have everything all priced and everything ready to go, and then I'll share that with everybody. And in case anybody wants any trades or anything, or any buying any of these. So this is Taylor. It's a tennis guy. It's a beautiful card in a 6. I think this is the, there's one graded higher, I think. So this is like the, one of the highest graded. You're not gonna find these cards in the 6. This is the high jumper. This one is overgraded. Well, it's a 5 marked, but it has just a little bit of paper loss there, so it should be a little bit lower graded. But either way, I'm gonna go ahead and sell this one. I have 3 of these guys. I was gonna keep it because this one has the mark is actually someone that collected the cards that actually checked off back in the 1888 when the cards came out. So that's Paige, the high jumper. Here's the Oro. This is the champion pool player, and he was a Cuban, born in Cuba. Spoke perfect English and went all over the world playing pool. Became the world champion. I've talked about him before. And the good thing about the funny thing, when I did the video on the Oro, I was contacted by a family member of the Oro, and was able to just email back and forth, and telling me how she was looking for his memorabilia, which was given away to be displayed, but really she lost track of it. But anyway, the Oro pool, gorgeous card, beautiful green background. I mean, this is a green portrait background before Cobb, back in 1888. Here's one of the billiard players. Now, billiard was different than pool. Billiard was played, and they didn't have, holes to put the balls in. It was a different game back then, bouncing off the. But this is Vigo. He was one of the champion billiards player back in the day. Again, beautiful cards. I mean, this one, even though it's a 3, I have one in an SGC. I think it's a 4 or 5, but this one, even though it's a 3, it's a beautiful 3. I think it's because in the back it's missing a little bit of paper in the back there. But again, all of these cards that I'm showing you, the population of these, the total population is less than 20. The only one that have higher pops are the baseball players, and some of those, which, you're talking 50, maybe 75 total that exist of each one of those. Those are the most popular ones. This particular one I'm going to show you, I had 3 of these out of the population, which I think was 10. 10 was, I think, at one time was the population of the beach card, and I had 3 of them. And I gave one to Dylan, my buddy Dylan, because it said beach on it, and it had, water, and it was for him. So I gave him the one that was the best kind of centered and the best condition, which ended up was a 2. The 2 was better than the 2.5 that you see here. This one has rounded corners and stuff. The one I gave Dylan was just perfect. But I do have an SGC version of this one that is a lot higher, which is the highest graded one. So I'm keeping that one, and I'm breaking up my set on PSA, so I'm selling my PSAs. I have a higher one, SGC, I'm selling the PSA. Here is now I'm going to get into the boxers, which are really one of the most, other than the baseball players. You got the baseball players, which are 8 of them, and then you have the Beecher card, which is the only the first football card, and then you have the boxers, which is probably the next tier of value in this set, and then you have some other. There are Buffalo Bill, of course, is one of the more expensive ones, along with Isaac Murphy, and those are just 2 of the real big stars of the day. But anyway, the boxing. I have 3 of the boxers that I'm going to go ahead and sell. The last, and this is Gem Smith in a 2.5. Again, another tough card to find. You know, it's got some rough front there. It's just kind of, you know, just the way it is. Card from 1888. And it's missing a little bit of paper up here. But again, you're not going to find these cards. There's the boxers, there's a few more of these. There's probably 20, 25 of these out there. But a tough card to find for the Goodwin champions, the Gem Smith pugilist. Another one of the tough cards, all these guys are tough cards, I keep saying it, but is the Jack Kilrain. And this one is in a 4, which is, again, one of the highest graded. I think there is a there is a 7 out there. I know that exists, and you know, I have a 5 in an SGC, so I'm going to move this 4. And Jack Kilrain was the champion, the British champion, British middleweight champion. And again, these are just beautiful cards. You know, look at you got the ring there, and you know, his belt is like a flag, red, white, and blue, and you know, just these are just you got to see them in person, so you notice and just how bright colors are on this, and just how beautiful these cards are. I mean, I don't know if you can get a good look at some of these, but I'll share some of them a little closer in a minute here. But Jack Kilrain, another one of the top guys of those days, one of the top boxers. So there are 2 boxers there that are the big names in the set. And of course, John L. Sullivan, undisputed, the heavyweight champion. They made the belt for him, heavyweight championship belt. And I had a couple of John L. Sullivans. I did put one at auction at the Atlantic City National. I dropped it off at auction that one off. And I do have the 2nd highest graded John L. Sullivan in a 7. So I'm not gonna sell that, the only one I have left. But I do have a couple of Jack Dempsey's, who is just the 2nd biggest boxing card in the set. And I have an SGC, I have the highest graded SGC, or the highest graded, I think, overall, which is a 7. And it's in an SGC slab. So this 4.5 is a very desirable card. Jack Dempsey was the first middleweight champion of the world, and they made the middleweight championship belt for Jack Dempsey. Now there are 2 Jack Dempseys, the one from the 30s and this Jack Dempsey here. This is the original one. And his nickname was Non-Pariel, which is no equal. He had no equal back in the day as far as for a middleweight champion. He was the top guy back in the middleweight. And this card in a 4.5 is a very high grade. You're not going to find these much higher than 2s or 3s for the most part. So this is one of the highest graded versions of it. And it doesn't have a crease. It just has like a little scratch here. I think that's a lot. Most of the downgrade corners are pretty good for a 4.5. It's nicely centered, and the back is very clean, because these cards always have a little bit of paper loss in the back, either for the album or just for some reason. And this is one of the, again, this Jack Dempsey is currently in the #1 rated set, PSA registry set. This is the one I have on my registry. And it's going to be coming off that registry. I'm going to go ahead and just retire the registry, I think, after the National. And the other one I wanted to share was the Isaac Murphy. And at one time I had four Isaac Murphy cards. And this was the last one I had raw that I sent in to get graded. The other 2 I traded it off to a couple of friends of mine. And I have the highest graded, which is a PSA 7. and that's the one I'm keeping. So this is the last one, and this again is Isaac Murphy, who is one of the few athletes, black athletes, to appear in any cards at all. Back in the 1800s or early 1900s, there are no black athletes other than Isaac Murphy and a couple other guys, but Isaac Murphy is the main guy. He was the best jockey and still is considered the best jockey of all time. Eddie Arcaro said that his record will never be beaten, his winning percentage, and the top jockey to date at every year is given the Isaac Murphy Award. Isaac Murphy, I've done stories about him. He's the original horse whisperer. Went from slave, working on the horses, to the richest black man in the United States. The best jockey ever. He owned a horse farm. So anyway, that's Isaac Murphy. These are the ones that I'm going to be taking to the National to sell or trade, or if I don't sell any of these or trade these, I will leave them at one of the auction houses. Most likely it's going to be my buddy Al at Love of the Game. That's what I did last time. The ones I did not sell, I left them at Love of the Game auction. So I just wanted to show these. If anybody's going to have any interest in these, let me know. I'm going to start pricing them out soon. But this is a few. I've got picked out 10. I still have a few more that I may take or not, but here are 10 of my and 10 of Goodwin Champion cards from my collection. And there's 50 cards total. So you're looking at basically 20% of the set right here. That's 20% of the set with a few of the three of the boxers. So anyway, guys, thanks for watching. It's Orlando from A Collector's Dream. Wanted to give you guys a good look at my favorite set from the 19th century, the Goodwin Champions. Thanks for watching. I'll catch you on the next one.